got back from doing a private one-on-one consultation in Arizona, and there was something interesting that happened, which I want to share with you. Myself and the gentleman I was there giving a consult to were having dinner, and at a table right by us were two guys who had gotten their bill, and one of the guys became a little irritated by the other guy's means of paying. For ease of following the story, I'll call the irritated guy Adam and the other guy Steve. All right? Now, Adam apparently was paying his share in cash, while Steve was using a gift card that was good at this restaurant. Now, the interaction between them went something like this. Adam asked what portion of the bill he owed to Steve. Steve named off what Adam had ordered and gave him the figured out total. And Adam responded, "But you're using a gift card, so how much do I owe beyond what your gift card covers?" And Steve replied, "I'm not using the whole gift card, just enough to cover what I ordered." And Adam felt that was unfair and asked why Steve was being, to use his words, a tight ass about using the whole gift card. There was a brief exchange of very mildly heated debate on Adam's side of the conversation, as Adam argued that he had to fork over cash while Steve got off easy with using a gift card that he didn't pay for in the first place. And that on top of this, Steve was not even willing to use the entire gift card. Now, ultimately, Steve conceded and agreed to use the entire gift card, saying, it wasn't worth fighting over. Now, think about this story a moment. Was Adam right and Steve was being unfair about the gift card? The answer is no. Adam was displaying a perfect example of concern we can all relate to, which is the feeling that we're losing something while the other person gains. The feeling of someone else coming out ahead of you. A feeling you're being taken advantage of. In Adam's case, he felt that since Steve was using a gift card instead of cash, it was an unfair expectation for Adam to still pay half the bill. His argument was that Steve didn't even pay for the gift card, that it had been given to him. What I personally found interesting was that Adam failed to realize how ridiculous he was being. I'll explain. Let's say the gift card was for $50, and what their dinner tab came to was $40. Sure, Steve would have obviously been able to cover the whole thing. The gift card would have even had $10 left on it afterwards. But that never even became an issue until Adam learned Steve was using a gift card instead of cash. My point being, what difference would it have made if it was a $50 gift card or $50 in cash? If Steve had pulled out a $50 bill, Adam most likely would have given Steve his share of the tab without a second thought. But because Adam felt he was being taken advantage of, because he felt on some level Steve coming out ahead in this matter, suddenly splitting the bill evenly became an issue. And think for a moment one of the justifications Adam gave for his argument. He said that Steve had been given a gift card. Well, if you want to get technical, the same could be said for cash. Unless Adam knows something I haven't discovered, we all have cash because it was given to us. I mean, do you have cash that was not from someone or something else? I mean, I have cash because it was given to me either by a bank, directly by a person, or through the ATM I use when I use my debit card. You see, it all comes down to our perceptions. Steve had the means to pay his share, bottom line. But the fact that the means was through a gift card instead of cash altered how Adam perceived the fairness of it. No matter what is presented to you, your feelings about it all come down to how you perceive it. Have you ever heard of the game show Deal or No Deal? It's hosted by Howie Mandel. If not, here's a brief description of the show. The contestants are presented with 26 briefcases. Each case has a number on it, starting from 1 all the way through 26. Now, inside each case is a money amount ranging from 1 penny to $1 million. But you don't know what amount is in each case until they're opened. Now, the contestant gets to pick one of those cases, any one of them that they want. That case becomes, quote, their case, and remains unopened until the game is over. Now, the contestant must open a designated number of other cases to reveal what dollar amount is in those cases. And what's not in those cases is not in, or what's in those cases is not in his. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Based on what is in those cases that are open, the contestant has made a certain offer amount, a dollar amount, to, quote, sell his or her case. They can either take the offer, the deal, or say no deal and keep playing the game, and they have to keep opening up more cases before another offer to buy their case is made. The goal is to have either picked the case that has the $1 million in it, or to accept a money offer that turns out to be higher than what's in your case. What I find interesting about this game is it takes advantage of that perception of loss. I mentioned we all can relate to this, so I'm sure you're following me. No matter if the contestant accepts a deal for, say, $50,000, they still will feel a level of loss because in their case was, say, $100,000 or $1 million. Yet if they took the deal for $50,000 and inside their case was, say, $10, they feel they've won. So if the offer they took was less than what was in their case, they feel they lost. If the offer was higher than what was in their case, they feel they've won. But stop and really think about this in real terms. No matter what amount they walk away with, they've still won more than they had before they started the game. So it doesn't matter if their case holds $1 million or $100. Any amount they go for will actually be a win. They can never actually lose that $1 million because that money was not already theirs to begin with. It's a perceived loss, a loss felt by what might have been instead of what was. In your life, you experience the same perceived loss in the form of someone else getting the job you applied for, or someone else getting the person you wanted. Or in the case of Adam and Steve, feeling like someone else is getting the better deal than you. The truth is, you can't lose what was never yours already. So stop feeling like you lost anything. We all want to know that our efforts will bring rewards in some form. But for many of us, we overlook the smaller wins we have along the way. So even when a big win comes, we feel on some level it could have been even bigger than it was. In my life and in the lives of so many people I've met in my life, it's been proven to me that there really is no such thing as not enough. There truly is abundance out there for us all, every single one of us. Most likely the only reason you may not have abundance in your life is because you're still looking out there for it, when all the tools and skills you need lay within your own mind, and most importantly, in your own actions. It's okay if you're skeptical of my words right now. You weren't always a skeptical person. You weren't born skeptical. You taught yourself how to be that way when you really get honest with yourself. You know, you're responsible for your own skepticism. So I'm really not trying to convince you of anything, but I do hope that you do consider what I've shared with you. All right, quit comparing who has the bigger piece of cake since, well, neither slice is going to taste any sweeter. You're not always going to get the better deal. But then again, the same is true of everyone else. The key, as I see it, is to value what you have while you persist to have more, instead of persisting to have more and not valuing what you have. There's nothing wrong with wanting more, but there is something wrong with not appreciating what you have on the road to having more, or worse, feeling the loss of something you never had in the first place. The world doesn't hate you. and you are just as capable as those people you think can do better than you. Thank you for listening, my friend. Be well and live